Welcome to Clutter Free Friday. For this series, once a month, I go and help someone else declutter their home and share that process with you so that you can see how we make these decisions and how it can look after a short period of time, but also how much time and effort really does go into it.
This is pretty. I like it. It supposedly was a fig passed down from grandparents.
Oh. A few months ago, I did a video with Katy where we went through her hall closet that was just a catch-all, and she was like 6 months pregnant, preparing for her fourth baby. And so I just wanted to briefly catch you up on that, but you should definitely watch that video to get more backstory and details of how we got to this point where we are today. I cannot wait for you to see the final results. So overall, this has been 4 different visits of me going to her house for an hour each. And in between, she would take donations or her husband would help her move furniture, and they would do a few little things like that. And then I would come in, help her decide what to get rid of and just help her focus. So one thing I wanted to talk about because of that is the fact that going slow and doing the process over time and over the course of months really helps you to make the progress without feeling so overwhelmed. And there are still ups and downs. Sometimes she felt like it was going slow. And another thing about doing this process slowly is that it gives you a chance to change your mind or discover different things and just think about what you're wanting and what you want to change. So she was able to find a couple of clear storage bins in her own home without going to purchase them in between visits. And she had said that she wanted to store these clothes in a clear bin so that she could see them. And then she was also able to purchase the dresser that she knew she wanted for her newborn to also serve as a changing table. So I love like being on the other side of all of this. So after day 3 or week 3, she had 1 small bag of trash to get rid of and a large box of donations to take. She also mentioned that she was thinking of getting rid of cloth diapers. She had used them for her first 3 children, but it just seemed like too much for her this time. And so she called the thrift store because she was like, I don't know if they'll accept something like that, but they actually did. And I think it's amazing because this gives someone else the chance to try using cloth diapers who maybe couldn't afford it or didn't have the chance and just wanted to try it before committing. And she was able to let go of that, and she was like, I feel bad about landfills and stuff, and I'm like, I think you did your part. So I love that she was able to do that and experience that. Also, she was telling me about this blanket that was in her family.
This is so pretty. Maybe I should just hang it up in here on the wall. What do you think about that?
Yeah.
Let it be decor.
Cute.
I mean, it's a family heirloom.
And she does think it's beautiful, but she wasn't sure if she was going to keep it. But she did, and she did hang it in the nursery, and it was so sweet and cute. And sometimes you just need that time to think about things, and that's okay. And sometimes you'll end up using them, and sometimes you'll end up letting them go. Especially with something like that, that's like something from your family that you can't easily replace. It helps to give it some thought, give it some time, and think about it when you're not, once you've made a little more progress and you're not like so drained by everything. Do it once you're feeling lighter because you've gotten rid of some more items. So during this visit, we really just picked up where we had left off and were organizing boys and girls' clothes separate to be able to get rid of whichever gender she didn't end up having. And then also labeling everything so that she could easily find it and get to it as needed. We also emptied out this extra large storage bin so that her husband could use it in the garage because it's something that's easier for him to lift. So she's not having to haul around this really heavy container full of clothes when they'll fit into a different one anyway and be easier to maneuver. And just putting it away so she could function in her space. And just look how much stuff she got rid of from that little closet. All right, so that's going to the garage. This is donations, really big box, and trash. Oh yeah, and the best part, I have to go in here. Okay. So, before I share the final reveal, here's a reminder of what it looked like before. I went back to her home like a month and a half after she had her baby. She was able to get even more done and remove the boy clothing because she did have a girl. And so she did all of that, and then she was able to fit all of her books on the shelf in the closet. So they had bought a separate bookshelf for their books, and then they realized they already had a shelf built in, but they'll be able to use the shelf for something else, or they can get rid of it if they choose to. She was like, oh, it's not like Pinterest, but I like it. And so I was impressed. She had done even more because I went and did their newborn family pictures and saw the closet, but even since then they had done a lot of work and it looked amazing.
I now have a place to put all of our like note cards and officey things, and my label maker
and
has
get
a
to
box.
them, yes,
I
easily. Okay,
I started labeling a few things, but
that's awesome. I love seeing how this has helped their family as they've welcomed a new family member. I love that she also said that it spills over into other areas because they had another closet right beside it that wasn't that bad, but she still kind of went through it and cleared it up a little more.
cleaning up that one closet kind of fed into a lot of closets getting organized because we realized, oh, these things are in the wrong place, so we'll go ahead and organize this closet so they can go in the correct place, you know. So.
That's awesome. Oh my goodness. Also, she had 3 kids at home while we were doing this, so she did have them watching TV, but that didn't keep him from coming up sometimes and asking questions or just chatting or wanting to play. And so I didn't include that because I didn't really want to put someone else's children on my YouTube channel, but I wanted you to know like that happens and it's fine. We're still able to get stuff done. Now she can access everything pretty easily. This is the 5th video in this series, so I decided to finally create a playlist with just these types of videos, the Clutter-Free Friday, where I go and help other people declutter. So if you're interested in that, check out that playlist specifically for those types of videos. And thanks for watching.
Margarita sauce. We obviously haven't opened this since we moved here.
Okay, that's what I was wondering.
It was my dad says it was not mine. He keeps saying it wasn't mine, but my mom's like, it was his. He was born at a time when there were, you know, whatever blanket you had is what you used.
I just got back from Katy's and it was so fun. And she is just super sweet and she seems to be recovering really well. And I think a big part of that is how simplified her house is. And this was not because of me. This was before me. Like, besides that closet, so much of her house is really organized, really tidy, really minimalist, probably more so than mine, even though she has 4 kids. I almost said 3, but she has 4 now. So I am really impressed. And also, like, I went over there, did the little video, was just chatting, and she was like, do you want to stay for tea or coffee? And so I did. And then her kids are just playing with a puzzle and different learning blocks, and it's really fun to see that and interesting to see that they're like so well behaved. I mean, they'll still make loud noises and she'll ask them to stop or play with something else or play somewhere quieter. And so anyway, just love her and loved this time together, and I'm learning from her as well. So I wanted to pass that on to you, and just how this could be like completely different for someone who had not already downsized so much, because she had a very stressful and intense birth. And so I think having things simplified just really helped with her recovery and dealing with that. And I mean, of course, she talks like it was a lot on her, but I'm just imagining it being like it could have been so much worse and extended. Like, there's so much beautiful natural lighting in her home, and when you fill all the spaces with clutter, it's like there's less space for light to go and to bounce off of, because it just finds these like shadows. I don't know, like at least that's how I feel from living in like a cluttered space and then going to a less cluttered space. So, and I don't hear people talk about that very much or ever. So just wanted to throw that out there.
I have to edit out so many shots of me like forgetting that the camera's here and pulling my maternity pants on. It's really heavy. If you want to wait for Mitchell to get back.
Well, I can also, I mean, are you okay with me dragging it if it's
Sure.
too heavy?
Whatever you're comfortable with.
Okay.
It's just.
Oh, yeah, it's not. It's too heavy for someone who is pregnant. Okay. All right. So, well, I see the door closes. Oh yeah. Whoa, you've done a lot more work since I was last here. So, were you able to get rid of the boys' clothes?
Yes, the boys' clothes.
Oh my gosh. She said it's a perfectly realistic closet. Into this. Sorry, I'm distracted by hummingbirds. Okay. All right, I just have to show you. See them? Oh, of course not. I know, as soon as I go back there, I'm gonna think of something else to say. Okay,